10 things the X-Men do way better than the Avengers. Number 10. The X-Men are dedicated to training the next generation. From the very beginning, the X-Men were made to be a school for young mutants. Later, they also became superheroes who fight for freedom. The Avengers have a school too, called the Avengers Academy, but they don't focus on teaching as much. The X-Men, though, have always really cared about helping young mutants learn and grow. That was the plan when the team started, and it's still happening today. Now, the X-Men are spread out all over the world, but many of the smaller teams still try to follow Professor X's dream. Rogue is helping a group of young mutants called the Outliers. Kate Pryde and Emma Frost also have students they're teaching. Other groups like NYX are showing that all the lessons they've learned are really working. Honestly, if they can even turn someone like Wolverine into a teacher, they must be doing a great job. Number 9. The X-Men have a consistent covert strike team. The Avengers are a team that works out in the open where everyone can see them. Because they're known all over the world, people watch everything they do very closely. If they ever tried to put together a secret team, it could cause a lot of problems or make other countries nervous. The X-Men are different. They're more like a small army. Mutants are trained by fighters who've been doing this for a long time. One of the X-Men's secret teams is called X-Force, and it's even more intense. It was started by Cable, so the X-Men could do things in secret, even if it meant breaking the rules. Their mission is to protect mutants no matter what it takes. X-Force works well because it's a team made for tough, sneaky missions, while the Avengers are more like a group of strong heroes who work together, but not as a super tight team like X-Force. Number 8. The X-Men can lead entire nations. To be honest, every time mutants have tried to build their own country, it eventually fell apart, but not because of the X-Men. Genosha was destroyed by the Scarlet Witch and her magic. Utopia was lost during a big fight between the X-Men and the Avengers, and Krakoa was taken down by humans and machines that hated mutants. When Krakoa was at its best, it quickly became one of the most powerful places in the world. It took over the medicine market and became so strong that other countries had to treat it like a real nation. Krakoa changed from just a living island into a full country with tons of resources that other places had to work really hard to get. The Avengers could never do that. They're too spread out and unorganized to create even one country, let alone more than one. Number 7. The X-Men can combine powers more effectively. The X-Men aren't just powerful, they work really well as a team. Over time, they've learned that their powers get even stronger when they use them together. When Krakoa was formed, mutants discovered something called a mutant circuit, which means they can combine their powers in cool ways. Sometimes it's just two people, like when Colossus throws Wolverine in the famous fastball special. But bigger groups can do even more amazing things. Teams like the Five, the Lights, and the Krakoa-Arakko Alliance have done things that seem impossible. The Five created something called the Resurrection Protocols, which let mutants come back to life, making them almost immortal. And some mutants from Krakoa and Arakko even changed parts of Mars so people could live there. The Avengers might be super strong, but they don't always work well together. They're often focused on their own goals, while the X-Men have shown they can come together as one powerful team. Number 6. The X-Men have mastered time travel. Lots of superhero teams have figured out how to travel through time, but no one does it better than the X-Men. Unlike the Avengers, the X-Men and their friends aren't stuck in just one time or place. Heroes like Cable, Hope Summers, and Shatterstar have all jumped through time to help the X-Men in the main Marvel world. The X-Men have gone into the past and the future many times to fight for freedom and stop disasters before they even happen. The Avengers are great at stopping everyday threats, but they don't travel through time to fix future problems as much as the X-Men do. Most of the time, the Avengers only deal with time travel when bad guys like Kang the Conqueror show up. But X-Men like Cable and Bishop actually risk their lives to protect all timelines and possible futures from being destroyed. The X-Men just can't help but save people, even if those people live in a totally different time. Number 5. The X-Men are Marvel's most resilient team. The X-Men have come close to being wiped out more than any other superhero team, but they always keep going. They've lived through horrible things, like what happened in Genosha and the fall of Krakoa, and even huge space threats like the Phoenix. Even though these disasters were really hard, they've become a big part of what it means to be a mutant. The X-Men have learned how to survive hard times and come back stronger. Their whole story is about never giving up, even when the fight is really tough. That strong bond connects all mutants, even ones who don't always get along, no matter where they are, on Earth, in space, or even in another time. The X-Men always find a way to come back and help keep their people safe. The Avengers fight because they want to, but the X-Men fight because they have to. For them, it's not just about being heroes, it's about making sure their people survive. Number 4. The X-Men are better advocates for the weak. Building on that idea, the X-Men were created to help people who felt left out and unwanted. As the first young mutants got older, they started helping others who needed support too. Every new group of X-Men has worked to carry on the mission that Professor Charles Xavier started a long time ago. While the Avengers try to keep the whole world safe, the X-Men focus on protecting people who are treated unfairly, even if those people aren't mutants. The X-Men don't just fight bad guys, they try to fix the bigger problems in the world. They build schools, safe places, and even whole countries to help and protect people that others want to push down. The Avengers usually work with world leaders and governments, but the X-Men aren't afraid to stand up to those same leaders if they're hurting innocent people. Even if it makes them look like the bad guys, the X-Men will always fight for what's right. Number 3. The X-Men are free from external bureaucracy. The X-Men have always been pretty independent from regular human governments, whether they meant to be or not. Because of that, they don't have to deal with all the red tape and rules that the Avengers do. The Avengers often work for big groups like S.H.I.E.L.D. or the United Nations, but the X-Men make their own choices. They decide when to fight and when to stay out of it. Some people might think that's dangerous, but mutants don't have the power or support to use that freedom in a bad way. Instead, it helps the X-Men build their own systems that work for their own people. This makes them stronger on their own and makes sure their rules match what mutants believe in. The Avengers don't get to make the rules, they just follow them, but the X-Men get to choose what's right for themselves. Number 2. The X-Men possess more godlike heroes. Sure, the Avengers have some super powerful heroes like Scarlet Witch and Thor, but the X-Men have a whole bunch of Omega-level mutants who are just as strong or even stronger. One Omega-level mutant can do amazing things and change the world if they train enough. When they work together, they can create special power circuits that can even change reality itself. Plus, the X-Men have their own gods, like Jean Grey and Storm. For every super powerful Avenger, the X-Men have at least 2 mutants who can fight back. Mutants like Legion, Nate Grey, or anyone with the Phoenix power can change reality whenever they want. Heroes like Professor X or Kid Omega can control anyone's mind anywhere. Even Magneto has messed with the Earth's magnetic poles just because he was angry or hurt. That's why people are often more scared of mutants than any other heroes out there. Number 1. The X-Men don't need secret identities. Nowadays, most superheroes in Marvel don't really keep their secret identities anymore, except for few like Spider-Man and Ms. Marvel. But the Avengers and the X-Men handle this differently. Avengers usually have to balance their normal lives with being heroes, but for the X-Men, their mutant names and costumes are who they really are. Most X-Men live openly as mutants and don't hide who they are. The X-Men want people to see them because they're fighting for their right to exist. Their personal lives, their teamwork, and their identities are all one and the same. This gives the X-Men a kind of trust that's different from the Avengers. The Avengers all have their own reasons for fighting, but the X-Men are exactly who they want to be heroes.